I believe that, if everybody say it can't get done, I'm like, yes it can, why not? I said, if these kids can't read, then I'm not gonna promote them. All this, mom, dad, I'm gonna look you in your face and say this kid can't read. We let them down. School, parents, we let them down, but I'm not gonna take them to the next grade knowing that they're not at grade level. It's funny because I'm always like, okay, how are schools successful? Well, schools are successful when they demand greatness. Greatness doesn't come. We're about to make history. We're about to learn. We're about to grow. We're about to make history. And then, mark my words, it's going to be other school districts, other places around it that's going to be doing this thing. We're going to be the first model. And I'm speaking that into existence, okay? If you can really take the map and drive the instructor inside the classroom and link it to the M step, then everything will move. You see it?
Ladies, third grade teachers, could you tell me, how do you think this professional development was for you today?
Easy. It was productive. It was exciting. They will never leave Mr. Hurt advising.
Because the schools that I've worked with, the teachers I've worked with, their scores is go through the roof because what I do is I talk about practical stuff that's practical. Because I'm a former teacher and also I'm a principal, so I'm gonna be telling you guys things that I know will work in your classroom.
For booking, please visit shurt.
Good morning. This is Mr. Hurt with another powerful Saturday morning podcast. Come on in and hit that share button. Let me know where you're coming from. We're going to have another good one on today. We're going to talk about your first office as a principal should be the classroom. So I need every principal, admin, superintendent, you know who you are, to come on in and join in. Give me about 2 minutes as I get on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube people in, okay? And we call ourselves the Fantastic Super Saturday, the Fantastic Four. Myself at 10, Create and Educate at 10:30. We have Principal Kafele at 11 and Josh Tarver on Sunday at 7 o'clock. So this is what I need. You said last week, you said that you're going to bring in a friend. I need you at this moment to go ahead and share this out to all of your colleagues and also invite 3 people on here. So I need you to do that right now. Do that for me right now. And as you're doing that, I need you to tell me, where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? You're coming from Jersey. You're coming from South Carolina. I need to know that. So go ahead. Let me get one more minute in as I get all of my folks in. I'm excited regarding this topic. I got so much to share. So make sure you get your notes out, get everything out, because it's going to be another powerful podcast on this morning. It's going to be another one. You say, Hurt, you sound like DJ Khaled out there talking about another one. Yes, because, it's nice out here. I'm in Michigan. The weather is good. We had some snow a couple of days ago. Can't you believe it? We had snow a couple of days ago. But listen, I'm just excited. I'm pumped up. I cannot wait to give out this information. Give me 30 more seconds. Stay with me. But I need you to invite folks. Like I have Contis Sherrod, tell me where you're coming from. Sister Contis Sherrod, let me know where you're coming from and hit that share button. Let's get this party started. Listen, there's no other educational podcast on a Saturday around the world that gives you this much information, all of the jewels that we give to people, all of the stuff, the information. I'm telling you, this is the best out there. You go to conferences, you go to all that stuff, but listen, we are giving the people what they want and what they need. All right. So let me go ahead and see who's with me. Let me go ahead and see who's with me on this morning. let me take this off. Let me go ahead and go to my chat to see who's with me on this morning. Who's with me? Hold on. I got so much stuff going on. All right, let me go ahead and check in with folks. Let me check in. I got Dr. Jeter in the house. Good morning to you, Dr. Jeter. Dr. Jeter, much love to you from Illinois. I got Principal Kafele from New Jersey. I know, Principal Kafele, you getting ready for those playoff games. I know you getting ready. Who do you got winning, Principal Kafele? Put it in the chat. Who do you got winning in the NBA playoffs? Who you got taking it all the way? I got Sister Wallace, my goodness. Listen, Miss Wallace went and bought my books on last week. 2 of my books, they came in the other day, and she said she's going on vacation reading the books. So I appreciate the love, Sister Wallace. I appreciate that. I appreciate you so much. We have, who else we got in the house? We got Melissa Jones-Chuno. Good morning to you, Miss Melissa Jones-Chuno. I got Annette McMahon, I got it right. She put it in there. Yes. Good morning to you from Illinois, Miss Annette McMahon. Good morning to you. I'm hyped up. Y'all got me motivated. I got AP Patrick Lawrence in the house. Good morning to you. Yes, listen. I am I'm feeling it. You got to get that energy that I got. I got Brother David Bell. He down the street from Ben Harbor, Michigan. You know, I got to get down there, Brother Bill, man. We got to sit down and break bread and get that thing going. I have Miss Constance Sherrod. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I got Mrs. Truesdale. Good morning to you from the ATL. Good morning to you all. Yes. I got Miss September Vance Daniels from Orange, Jersey. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I got so many people, and I'm going to stop in about 5 more seconds. I got Miss Trina Felcher from North Carolina. I have to get down to North Carolina. Do you have any connections? I want to work. I want to get down in North Carolina. I love that Charlotte area. You guys are doing some big things. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. I got Miss Cynthia Ford. I got Sister Ford from Brunswick, Georgia. I miss you guys. Give everybody my love down there. I miss you guys so much. So I'm gonna stop right there because I'll be on for for a couple more minutes. But I want to make sure that that I have that we go ahead and get that information out. All right. So once again, this morning I'm gonna talk about your first office as a principal should be the classroom. This is going to be powerful. It's going to blow your mind. Every time I discuss this at a PD, I get so much feedback to say, Hurt, you took my mind to a next level as an administrator. So if you're an administrator, assistant soup, AP coach, you need to be listening to this, okay? So during my podcast, I always ask the question, what keeps you up at night as an educator? What is keeping you? And put it in the chat because I like to respond to the people from the chat. What is keeping you up at night as an educator? What is that one thing that's keeping you up at night as an educator? For me, we are in the middle of testing season. It has started. We're in the middle of that testing season. So the question I want to ask is that, are you prepared? Are you guys ready for that testing season? I went to a couple of schools this week just to kind of check on them, and I saw exactly some good testing environment. I saw kids focus. I saw the adults focus. You can hear a pin drop in those hallways. I saw scrap paper. I saw those pencils sharpened. They were on point. So listen. We have the PSAT, the SAT at the high school. We got state assessments 3rd through 8th grade. Make sure you are on point. The other thing is that for Michigan schools, I don't know for other states, but I'm saying Michigan schools, Mr. David Bell, some of my Michigan people that's on here. This is okay, for my Michigan people that's on here. The preliminary scores will be coming back within 2 days. So if you take the M-STEP on Monday, you will get preliminary, and they are 95% accurate by Wednesday or Thursday of that week. So my Michigan schools, you should be getting your preliminary data right back. Why is that important? Because if the 5th graders took the test this week, then you can kind of tweak a little bit or talk to your 8th grade team and say, hey, these are the things that's happening, and put a little something, put a little, you got 3 days to do something. You got the weekend to send out some stuff, whatever it is, okay? So I'm just letting you guys know that. All right. What is going on in education in my world? What is going on? This week I did a virtual professional development with Principal Williams from Oklahoma City, and we got down. I'm gonna be honest with you, we got down 2.5 hours. We got down, and let me tell you what we did. She had her NWA data for the end of the year, right? In 2 more weeks, she's gonna be taking her state assessment. Let me show you what we did take place. We were able, me and her principal was able to look at her 6th and 7th grade data, and then we were able to look at a few things that we can do for the next 2 weeks to get her over the hump. What is over the hump? Say, for example, if she was at 28% proficiency for reading, we said, all right, these are 2 standards. These are the 50 kids that we need to focus on to go from 28 to maybe 39 to 40%. That little thing right there. So that's why it's important for you to look at your data, for you to say, hey, we got 2 weeks. We can still make some adjustments. We can add. We can say this worked, whatever it is. So hats off to you, Principal Williams. I know good and well that when you take your test, you're going to do a good job. So hats off to you. All right. Next thing is that this week I was at a couple of schools in Detroit doing some board training. You say, Hurt, you do board training? Yes, I've been doing that for the last 3 years. I sit down and I train school boards, because that is a piece that's not even that we don't talk about. School boards, the people that make the decisions, that approve budgets, that approve this, that that hire superintendents. Those people need to be trained as well. So that's what I do. So this week I was able to do some training with 2 school boards in the Detroit area. So I'm excited about another part that I'm doing to take schools to the next level, because we forget about our boards. We forget about what that looks like, okay? And the last thing before I get started, hold on, I want to make sure I got everything going. I want to read it. I want to read this accurately. I got my girl, Miss Carletta Counts. Miss Counts in the house. Miss Counts, I got to stop. She's one of the best educators in Michigan. She's doing some tremendous job. Much love to you, Miss Counts. That's my sister in education. We talk every day about what's going on. So much love to you, Carletta Counts. The last thing is that this is the season for job interviews. This is the season for people to be promoted. So that's why it is very important for, when I talk about topics like this, other topics, when some of my colleagues talk about it, to take notes, to really take it, because we've been there. We've been principals, superintendents, things of that nature. So this is the season for people to get jobs. You might be thinking about going from a coach to an AP, from an AP to a principal to assistant sup. It is the season. How do I know? Well, let me tell you this. Within the last 2 weeks, you hit that share button. I need more people to hear this. Within the last 2 weeks, a person have called me and said, Mr. Hurt, do you know anybody that would like to be a principal of the district? They're paying $115,000 to $120,000. I'm gonna say this again: $115,000 to $120,000, principal of a K through 8th grade school. And then on top of that, they asked me. They said, not only that, we are going to increase our coaches, because we want to get 2 highly qualified superstar coaches. We're going to pay these coaches $95,000. Now, I'm not going to tell you what district it is. I'm just saying it's in Michigan. They're calling me, asking me for recommendations. That's why I know it's the season for people to get jobs. I'm going to say that again. They're asking me, Hurt, do you know a principal, based on your recommendation, that we can sit down and interview with, blah, 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 $120,000. I'm talking good now. I'm talking money. I'm talking what's going to get you up at night. Also, if they want to bring in their coaches, we're going to pay them $95,000. Let's get ready, everybody. Let's take these notes. Let's get ready for these job interviews. Let's get promoted. Let's go to the next level. Let's go to the next level. How does that sound? Tell me, y'all talk to me. How does that sound? How does that sound? All right. So let's go and get started. And then I did get some feedback from Create and Educate. I can stay on for an extra 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm gonna stay on for extra 3 or 4 minutes. Hit that share button. Let's go ahead and go. And I am ready to go ahead and get some information out. All right. Your first offer as a principal should be in the classroom. That is a non-negotiable. You want to go to the next level. You want to be that superstar principal. You want to make sure your school moves in the right direction. You cannot be in your office 24/7. You have to get out of the office, and you have to be in the classroom. So let me give you some information. This is what I know to be true. 15 plus years as a principal at all levels. High school, middle school, and elementary. Can nobody deny that? I didn't read a book. I didn't go to a PD. I didn't watch Lean On Me on TV. I didn't do none of that. I actually did the work. Okay. It is time for the principal to become the instructional leader of the school. Write it down. The instructional leader. The instructional leader of the school. It is a difference between a principal and also an instructional leader. There's a difference. I want people to go from a principal to an instructional leader. To do that, principals must make the classroom the number one priority. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Principals must make the classroom, going into the classroom, their number one priority. Okay, 60 to 80% of a principal's time. I'm gonna say this again, because when I say that, people get nervous. They go, hold up, Herb, that is stupid. No, we gotta do it. That's non-negotiable if you want your school to be great. Now, if you want your school to be a F school, a D school, if you want your district just to get by, if you want all those things, don't do this. But you'll be spinning your wheels for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. 60 to 80% of a principal time should be devoted to being inside of the classroom. Okay? And what I mean by that, it is not about always observing or evaluating. You can just go in there because you want to see what's taking place. You want to be able just to see what, and I'm going to talk about what you'll see. You don't have to go in there with the pencil and paper and saying, I'm going to sit down there and whatever. When I was a principal, I would just go in there for 5 minutes just to see what's happening, making sure that they have the right objectives on the board, making sure that the kids, how are the kids engaged? You know, if I was 13 years old in the 8th grade, how would I feel regarding being in the classroom? Is the teacher energy right? You know what I'm saying? Are they having small groups? As a principal, you cannot see that in the office. You cannot see that if you have, and as there is a time for you to answer the phone, to answer emails, to talk to parents and things of that nature. But what I was telling principals, what I did, I had a mobile office. And some of the principals that I work with, they have mobile offices. So now I can take my laptop, my cell phone, and all those type of things, and I can sit in Mrs. Potato Plant's 8th grade science class, and I'm in there, and I'm still answering my emails, still doing what I gotta do, but I can actually hear what's taking place inside of the classrooms. 60 to 80% of your time should be in the classroom. When the bell rings, you're in a hallway, making sure kids are going from one point to another. You're doing your lunchroom duty. All of that is spending time in the classroom, because the classroom is just not the classroom. The classroom is also in the lunchroom. We were doing things in the lunchroom that led to different things. The last 5 minutes, we would watch educational things on YouTube. I would engage with my middle school kids, my elementary, my high school kids. Those things are things that I did, not only me, but my leadership team as well. Okay. So I just want to say that. So I'm going to stop right there. hit that share button because more people need to listen to this. I need you to hit it because you know that more of your colleagues need to listen to this. All right, I'm getting so much feedback. Ms. Wallace says, great point. Classroom is where the magic happens. Yes, Ms. Wallace, that's why the schools that are doing good, the schools that are in the inner city, rural schools that are doing good, that are beating the odds, that are having high proficiency, their admin team, that's what they do. It's not rocket science. It's not nothing, because if you're in a classroom, you can make the adjustments. So let me break it down to you to let you know what you will see in the classroom, what you will actually see. All right. And then I'm going to extend this because I just got a text message from Dr. Houston. She said, Hurt, you can go to about 10:35. So we're going to go to 10:35 because I got a lot of information. Number one, you will notice the level of instruction that is taking place in the classroom. You will see the level of instruction. You cannot see the level of instruction if you're just doing 2 to 3 observations a year with your teacher. How? Listen to this. If a teacher at the middle school and high school level, if they're teaching 4 lessons a day, follow me very closely, 4 lessons a day, and they're in school for, say, 180 days, 4 times 180, we know what that looks like. That's over 600 lessons that they've taught through the year. So what you're telling me, Hurt, is that you're going to evaluate me on the 4 times you went into the classroom. So I done taught 600 lessons. See, this is why, when you're interviewed for these principal positions, you understand it. I've taught 600 lessons and you only been in my classroom 4 times. How can you properly evaluate me on my pedagogy when you only been in there for 4 times? So those 596 other lessons that I've taught is thrown out the window. No, we must go in there not to evaluate, but to see the level of instruction. What is taking place in the classroom? How are they delivering that lesson? How can I, as an instructional leader, help my teachers? As a principal, you can't help your teachers as a principal because you're in your office. As an instructional leader, now you're shifting. Now you're in the classrooms. You understand why the kids are struggling reading. You understand why the kids might not be able to get those math concepts. You understand these things. And then when you understand it, when you have your POCs, your data meetings, your staff meetings, you don't have to ask them what's going on. You know. Let me give you a testimony. When I was a principal, when I would sit with my leadership team and my teachers, I knew I would tell Mrs. Clark, I say, Ms. Clark, I'm about to order us some manipulatives because I see that the kids in math class need to be able to touch, need to be able to build and things of that nature. I'm ordering $10,000 worth of manipulatives for the math department. They would be like, yes, yes, yes. Mrs. Stevens, I am ordering writing journals because I want the kids to write. I am tired of them getting one sheet of paper and writing during writing lessons. We need writing journals because if I want to improve writing and none of my teachers have writing and none of my kids have writing journals, how can we improve writing? I am ordering 600 writing journals tomorrow because I see that's what they need. My teachers didn't come to me and tell me what was needed. I saw it and I was in partnership with my teachers and I told them this is what we're doing to enhance the instruction in the classroom. Yes, I know I am talking good. I know what I'm saying is right. You know good and well that's what needs to take place in the classroom. But if you're not in there, you cannot have that high level of discussion with your teachers. Take your notes. I told you I'm coming in strong. I told you I am coming in strong. Your first office as a principal should be the classroom. Yeah. Oh, yes. Ms. Wallace says math is hands-on, so it's important. Yeah, it is hands-on. And then on top of that, the boys in your school, remember, I was a young boy. I was 13 years old. They learn better in math, and I know why I'm staying on math. Math is my background. When they can touch, when they can build. It is hands-on, yes. So if it's hands-on and we're trying to improve our math scores, but you don't have manipulatives in the classroom, you're doing your school an injustice. Makes no sense. Number two, so number one, the level of instruction. Number two, you can better support your teachers. And I talked about that. Teachers will respect you as a leader when they know that you know what you're talking about. When they know that you are visible, they see you and you're working hand by hand with them. Yes, they know you are the principal. They know that you're in charge. But when you can work in collaboration, write it down, in collaboration with your teachers. I've seen a lot of schools and districts fail because the instructional leader, which is the building principal, will not work in collaboration with the teachers. I know that we all have PhDs. I know that we all have educational specialists and all those type of things. That might be good, but we still have to understand that when we first started in this education thing, we were teachers. So we work in collaboration with the teachers so that we can help support them and they can give us ideas. We can give them ideas and we work together. That's how you support your teachers. That's number two. How to better support your teachers by you just being in the classroom. Stay with me. I got 7 more minutes. Number three, I'm giving you the list. 60-80% of your class time as instructional leader. Try it on Monday. Just try it on Monday. If you say I'm doing 20%, let's go to 40%. I have a list. I always put on my website what it looks like from 8 o'clock to 3:30. I break it down. I have it. Yes, I do it every year. I break it down on what that looks like. Number three, when you do this, you can support students and advocate for their social and emotional needs. You can better support students and advocate for their social and emotional needs. Well, what do you mean by that, Mr. Hurt? When you're in the classroom, you see the struggle that Raheem might have in reading, or you might see the struggle that Faith has in math. You see it. So now when you're talking to the teachers, you're talking to Raheem's mama or dad, you're in those IEP meetings and you're having those discussions and you got to make for real decisions on that kid. What resources he or she should get, all those type of things. You're in there and you see it. It's a difference. Let me tell you this. It's a difference if Mrs. Clark came to me and said, Raheem is struggling in reading. We need to give him tier 2, tier 3 after school tutor. But it hits totally different when you're in the classroom and Ms. Clark says, all right, Raheem, or Ms. Clark goes over to Raheem and says, all right, let's read this paragraph, and Raheem is struggling reading. That hits different when you see it. Now I am like, okay, we got to get help. We got to go ahead and order some type of reading instruction, whether it's Reading 180 or Systems 44. I'm going to the reading coach. My conversation is different when I am seeing my kids struggle in reading. I'm seeing my kids not be able to write. I'm seeing my kids, when I see it, I will advocate better for my students and for my teachers, whatever it is. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I'm gonna stop right there because I'm getting so much feedback. You guys are. I got Professor Laws. Yep, because Professor Laws he says that he was always able to advocate inside of the building because he was in the classrooms. And then I just want to say, Creative Educate said, Mr. Hurt, I can allow them. I will be able to have their space. So I'm gonna stay on to about 10:45 if that's fine. You can stay on with me, but I got so much information to share, so I'm gonna stay on to 10:45. I don't want to rush it. Oh, it's 10:31 already. Wow, I'm sorry. So stay with me. I'm just looking, stay with me. I appreciate that, Create and Educate. They say you can stay on during their time. So I appreciate that. So I'm not going to rush this. Thank you very much. All right. Stay with me. Okay. And then hit that share button. Number 4, how to allocate your resources for the school. Spending your money, your budget on the right things. I'm going to say this again. This is, if I had hair, I will pull my hair out now. I'll pull the little hair that I got out now. You're spending your money on the right things. A lot of times we spend our money just to spend it, or we'll go ahead and get the latest new thing that just came out last week. Let's stop doing that, schools and districts, and let's spend our money on the right things. How do we know what the right things are? Is because we know it. We are in the classrooms looking at it. Like for me, when I was a principal and I had Title I and Title II budget. Now I'm going to talk to you because we have to get this. I would allocate about $20,000 a year on my after-school tutoring. That would start October, and I will run it into the beginning of April because that's testing season. So I will run it 3 times a week, and I will have about 50 to 60 kids in that program. All right. So that's $20K because I know I needed that. Then I would take another $15,000 for my summer program. All right. Now I know this because I know this is what we need. Okay. You got me? And then I would take another $20,000 for professional development for my teachers. You see what I'm saying? Because I know I had a lot of new teachers, so we wanted ongoing professional development. We wanted people to come in and work with my staff throughout the year in addition to what I was doing, you know. And then we set aside some other monies. But I was able to allocate my budget right. One year we adopted a program called Reading 180 and Systems 44, one of the best reading programs for kids who are struggling in reading from the 3rd to the 10th grade. That is beautiful. And then we had a reading coach that we hired to run that program. That reading coach did not do anything. So when we needed subs, that reading coach stayed in that classroom and did Systems 44, Reading 180. They did not do lunch duty. They did not do anything, but they worked with 25 of our lowest kids that year. They did not have another caseload, 25 kids. And I saw, as the instructional leader, those 25 kids improve in their reading skills from September all the way to the end of the year. We allocated that money for the budget. Why is that important? Because when you are in the classroom, you can allocate your resources correctly. All right. Hit that share button. Hit that share button. Come on, we're gonna stay a little bit long. You got people, hit it. You know you gotta. This is why schools are moving. Your first office as a principal, as assistant principal, should be in the classroom. That's the title of the podcast on today. Next one. Your presence in the classroom will have a positive impact on the behavior of the students. Your presence, you being in the classroom, will have a positive impact on the behavior of the students. Our school is wilding out. We got fights, kids on cell phones. Teachers cannot, they quitting every other week. It's bad. After school, they fighting on the bus. It's just horrible. Your presence and your leadership presence will lower the suspension rates in your school, will lower the fights, will lower all of the nonsense that's taking place. All of that will take place. Well, how do you know? The reason why I know is because I did it. I have the data to support. When me and my leadership team was in the classrooms and we was very strategic, we said, all right, we're going to spend time in this classroom, because we know they got some heavy hitters. We said the heavy hitters are in this classroom. We're going to be in there because we want, in the beginning of the day, that class to go smooth. We want things to take place because it only takes Raheem to do something to get everybody else started in that classroom. But if I am in there, if we have people in there, if Raheem is ready to get the party started, we can support Raheem. We can sit next to Raheem in proximity. We can allow those things to happen. And Raheem is not going to have that teacher mad and frustrated at 8:30. And now we have a bad day for 8 hours. Nothing is accomplished. By you being in the classroom, it has a positive, not a negative, a positive impact on the behavior of the students. By you being in your office, it has a negative behavior. It has a negative impact on the behavior of the students. Just how it is. Not only me, you talk to any principals. When they say, hey, I was in them classrooms, blah, 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 maybe you might have 10 kids that come down to the office on an average. That thing might go from 10 to maybe 5 or 4 or something like that. It goes down. Does that make sense? Give me some feedback. Go ahead and hit them emojis. I know I'm on Facebook. I know I'm on LinkedIn and YouTube. Send this out. I got about 10 more minutes. Send it out. Let me know if this is sounding good. I want this to go. If I haven't done a podcast that's been important, this is the most important podcast. You know, I talk about data. You know, I talk about all those things, but this right here supports everything that I am doing. And then once again, for people that just tune on, Create and Educate said I can have their time. So I'm gonna be on here till about 10:50. So just stay with me. I'm gonna go slow, like Josh Tarver says, like Luther Vandross, go slow. Let me get some water. I got somebody. I got Godfrey of WT. If you're out and about, you can proactively prevent problems. If you're in your office, all you can do is respond to the problems. You said it good. When you're out and about, you can be proactive. You can see what's going to take place. You can see when things are starting to brew up and things of that nature. But when you are in your office, they send all those problems to you. The fight already happened. Those bad text messages already took place. You know, the teacher already got frustrated and things of that nature. Number 6, and I talked about it. You will then transform yourself from a principal to an instructional leader. And that is so important. Principals, what they do is they spend their time in the office on a computer. Kids coming down because they got in a problem. So I'm talking to 4 kids within a 2-hour span. That's 2 hours I was supposed to be in the classroom. I got to call about 5 or 6 parents because they didn't call. That's another hour. I'm answering. I got to email this. I got to do this. So I didn't spend 6 hours of my day pulling out, taking out fires, where I should be in no classroom being an instructional leader, looking at the instruction that's taking place, examining it, doing those type of things. When you spend 60 to 80% of your time in the classroom per day, you will automatically transform yourself from a principal to an instructional leader. And then from there, you can be able to run your school. You can be able to have conversations with the custodian. I like that. Ooh, hurt the custodians. Yes, because you know those custodians coming to you every day, man. They in the bathroom vaping. They right on the walls. They doing all those things. All right. When you are in the hallways or in those classrooms, Miss Smith, why is it that every 5 minutes the kids got to go to the bathroom? We got to stop that. Now you're seeing it. Now you're in the hallways looking at different things. So now the custodians are happy. Mr. Hurt, why is it at the end of the day I go into Mrs. Brown's classroom and it's a pig's pen? You got paper everywhere. You got trash over there. You got Kool-Aid that then fell on the floor and everything else. I know that because my custodians will always say that. But if you're in a classroom, you like, no, they can't drink Kool-Aid in the classroom. They can't have cookies and chips and they dropping it on the floor. They can't shoot baskets in the corner when they ball up their paper and all those type of things. Yes, you're right there looking at that. So you're having a conversation with the teachers regarding classroom management, because classroom management don't only affect the students and the teachers, but the custodians are mad because now they got to clean up a mess. They're like, why is there chip bags everywhere? Why is there Doritos, staining up the rug? Why, those type of things take place. You will be an instructional leader. I'm telling you that. You'll be an instructional leader. All right. The last thing is that when you spend 80%, 60 to 80% of your time more in the classroom, you will become more in tune with the pulse of your school. Teachers get frustrated, your staff get frustrated when you don't have a pulse of the school, when you just oblivious into what's taking place. And then, like I always say, everybody sees the elephant, right? It's a big old elephant in the middle of the room, and all 80 people see that elephant. That elephant is like a big pimple on your face. Everybody see that big pimple, but you, because you don't have a pulse of what's taking place. You kind of know it, but you don't have a pulse. Even if you can say, listen, we need to stop 1, 2, 3. At least the adults will be like, oh, he know what's going on. She know what's going on. Hey, I'm getting my hands dirty just like you getting your hands dirty. I don't want kids fighting on a bus, wilding out after school. I don't want the lunchroom to be whatever. We're going to do something about this. But what takes place is that when the staff members know that you either don't care, don't realize what's happening, then they like, you know what? And I talked about it last week. I'm about to throw in a towel. I'm about to do something different. I'm about to go to another district. I'm about to work with another leader. Or they'll say, you know what? I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I'm about to leave out this thing completely, because you do not have a pulse on what's taking place at the school. So consequently, when you're meeting with your supervisors, your assistant superintendent, your superintendent, when you're having those conversations, you cannot advocate for your staff. There's no advocating for the staff because you don't know what's taking place. And that's the biggest thing. And if you don't get nothing out of this message, you got to have a pulse of what's happening in the school. You got to. If not, then once again, everything is going over top of your head. And now people are getting frustrated with what's happening. So in conclusion, I got about 5 more minutes. So give me about 2 more minutes. This is why it's important for your first office as a principal to be the classroom. All 7 of these things you will see when you are in there. Okay. Now, the other part is this, is that as an AP, if your principal doesn't see it that way, hey, you can go in there and do it, because now that's going to sharpen up your tools. So when you become a principal, then you will be well equipped when you're interviewing for that principal job. Remember, I said an hour ago, somebody reached out to me and said, Mr. Hurt, do you know somebody that's ready to take over a school? Listen to what I'm saying. This is Michigan. We're looking for a principal based on your recommendation, based on who you are. Do you know somebody? We're paying them $120,000. Listen, that's what they said, $120,000. In addition to that, do you know any coaches that would like to work for this school? We're going to pay these 2 coaches $95,000. I need you guys to get this. So when you say I'm ready, you can be like, listen, I'm spending 80% of my time in the classroom. I know what's taking place. I'm ready for that. Now, in addition to that, I know, because this is interview season. In addition to that, principal, you are ready to become an assistant superintendent. How do you move a district? This is what you got to do. You got to say, you know what? I want my principal to become instructional leaders, and this is what they will see. This is what's going to take place. Now you're saying something during those interview processes that other people is not saying. Now you're able to get that assistant superintendent position. Now I'm going to go to the next level. You are the superintendent of a school district that is a low school district. You got a D on your report card last year. You got about 10 schools that's on a priority list or the whatever list. How do we move it? How do we move it, Hurt? I'm tired of being the superintendent of a district, and we got to move it within a year to 2 years. We don't got 6 or 7 years. We got to move this thing quickly. Everybody say quickly. Well, how do you do that? I would challenge you, if you just talk to your principals, make them instructional leaders, and say, listen, the first thing we're going to do is that I want you to be in those classrooms for 60 to 80% of the time. That is the foundation of it. And then everything else comes into place. If they're doing that, then you will see them become instructional leaders. And then consequently, you will see those schools improve over time. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. If I told you you're going to lose, if you told me you wanted to lose 60 pounds, Hurt, I want to lose 60 pounds in 5 months. If I say you exercise 5 days a week for an hour and quit eating fast food, you're going to lose weight. It's just, you're going to lose weight just by doing those two things. Same thing. If you spend 60 to 80% of your time, you go from a principal to an instructional leader, you will see the school move in a positive direction. The academic achievement will improve. You might be at 8% proficiency in reading. The following year, that thing might go to 22%. It might not be big to other eyes out there. 22% hurt. We were at 8% last year. Now we're at 22. The following year, you might be at 34 because you are an instructional leader. And when you become an instructional leader, you develop systems that will be put in place in your school. So I'm going to stop right there. So thank you very much for, I did it for a whole hour, an hour of my podcast. Please, if you would like for me to come to your district, listen, I only have a few spots left for the upcoming school year. If you would like for me to come into your district to help support, inbox me. What I do is that I will set up a virtual meeting. We'll talk about it, and we'll go ahead and make it work. In addition to that, I am also doing one-on-one professional development with teachers. They're reaching out to me and saying, Hurt, my principal might not allow you to come to district. I need you to sit with me and talk about my data, talk about how I can interview for this position. I do that as well. The last thing is that if you have not picked up my books, get it from my website. You got to get it. I got one on how to transform your school, and the other one is for parents. Parents, that's what's missing. Parents, I'm engaging parents. This book will bless all of your parents. Order from my website, Sean Hurt School Turnaround Principles.com. Both books will bless you. So thank you very much for tuning in for this extended time. Thank you, Crane to Educate, for giving me your time. I will see you next week, same time, same place. And if no one have told you, I love you. I care about you. We are in the middle of test season. Knock it out. And let's go ahead and make this particular podcast big. Hit that share button. Let people know about it.